Hey guys, Alan from Guitar World here with Jeff Schroeder of the Smashing Pumpkins.
Good afternoon, Alan. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Jeff. You're
Always a pleasure.
likewise, likewise. We are on stage here, and you're kicking off your summer tour.
Yeah. Actually, we started last night in Camden, and now we're here at Jones Beach today. So, pretty exciting. Last night was great. Lots of fun. All the bands are awesome. So we had a great time.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. And you've been nice enough to give us a little tour of your rig here, what you're using on stage.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we'll start here at the pedal board. So I plug in, still use a cable. I think we're using Mogami cable right now. But I plug into this wah pedal, this Dunlop Joe Bonamassa wah, which I really love the sound of that wah pedal. It's actually the favorite wah pedal I've ever used. It's kind of, to me, it reminds me more of like Jeff Beck Truth era type of wah. And as far as those types of tonalities, I think someone like Joe Bonamassa really has, I think, the ear to use, to really dial in that kind of wah. So I really love it. It's because it's really musical and expressive, and it's not too extreme, but it's enough. It's like kind of everything you want, not too much, really warm and throaty and mid-rangey. I really love it. So I go into that wah pedal, and then after the wah pedal, I go into this TC Electronics Bonafide buffer, because we do have quite a bit of a cable run that goes from my point on stage to the rack. And so then everything else that's on this board, there's no signal running through. This is just the Helix, Line 6 Helix controller that controls basically everything on my rig, and then these two Dunlop expression pedals, which for the most part are just using just as different types of volume pedals and a little bit of delay mix. So I have those two as well. So after that, that would travel from stage and then to the rack here. And in my rack, kind of the hub of everything is this Line 6 Helix. And the two are just for, one's a backup for redundancy. They're not, I don't use both. So it goes basically from stage, and then it goes into the input of Helix. And then Helix basically does all the kind of channel switching, signal routing. Basically I would say does all the signal routing, and most of the effects come from that. I don't use any of the amp modeling. It's just, I use it only for effects and, like I said, signal routing. And so in the loop, Helix has 4 effects, sends and returns. And so in the loop of Helix, I have down here, I go into these kind of old modified Randall RM4 preamps. This is my main unit, and then this is a backup. This preamp holds 4 of these cartridges. They're modified by a guy named Anthony in the Czech Republic, and this company's called Salvation Audio. Basically, there's 4 different amp types. So this is kind of a matchless Vox thing, which is actually my main clean sound. And then this is like kind of a Vox Fender hybrid, which I use for more like a light distortion type of sound. Then this Duoplex is kind of a hot rodded Marshall type of thing. And then like my main super heavy gain is this JJ Dirt, which is basically like a Friedman type of amp.
Nice.
So that's in the loop of Helix. And so with having it like that allows me to, I can signal route at any time where in the effect chain that this preamp comes in. So I can have pedals before this preamp, so I can run dries, phasers, choruses, whatever I want to put into the preamp. And then I can also run post effects, like so have bigger delays, reverbs, and stuff that come after the preamp. And
Awesome.
and it can change from song to song, so which is great. And then in the other loops, I have 3 more loops. I have this Electro-Harmonic Synth 9, which I use to do string sounds on Tonight Tonight. My guitar tech, he has his own company, Popstar Amplification, but he makes pedals as well. And this is his Royale Preamp, which is a great kind of line driver, overdrive type of pedal, but what it does it does something with kind of voltage, I guess, as you turn it up and down, and it really changes the characteristic of how the distortion feels under your fingers. It's really great, really warm, more full range than, like, say, than using like a Klon or Tube Screamer, which I do use those types of things too from Helix, but I use this a lot. And then I have Mesa Eventide H9, which I use for tons of delays and reverbs and things like that. Even though Helix has a lot of these things, the sound of Eventide's product still is something that's very dear to me. It's very much part of the sound of the Pumpkins as well, and so those things aren't easily replicated. Even though certain types of effects do similar things, they don't really sound the same as these. So I still use that, and yeah, so that's in that. So then after Helix, then I go into this Mesa Boogie Simon Class 290 power amp. And I actually just switched to this Boogie power amp. And man, I can't believe I waited so long. I have to say, I really love the sound of it. It really, you know, I'm just bummed I waited so long to switch to Mesa Boogie. But they're great, and they the team over there in the Hollywood store let me go and try a bunch of stuff, and they were so accommodating, and it was so refreshing to go to a place where you walked in and they knew all their gear from top to bottom and could really like help you go like, okay, we've listened to records, we know what you're going for, this is what we think some of the best things for you to try. And it was great. We don't have any cabinets on stage, but we have everything in iso cabs, but we're still using cabinets, and I use orange cabinets with Celestion speakers, and I use the G12H 30-watt speakers. It's kind of a little bit more like 70s kind of mid-period Zeppelin-y kind of sound with those speakers. But I really love orange cabinets because they can really handle low end, and it's really tight and focused and clear. So I've been using orange cabinets as well for, I don't know, like 8 or 9 years now too. So
Nice.
that's basically that. Um,
That's an
yeah.
amazingly flexible rig.
Yeah, and it's so as you see, it's very much of a hybrid rig where it's digital. This is all analog, tube and analog technology. And so it's kind of got the best of both worlds and lots of flexibility, but all the options that I would need for signal routing to do songs from, I mean, like 7 or 8 different albums that we do,
Yeah.
and many different eras of the band, and it's pretty solid and, from night to night. So I have to say, it's really good.